Hey everybody, it's Doc, and this is Patty. Welcome to the channel, and you have reached the segment where we shoot the bull about cars, and today we're shooting the bull about that Bronco right there.
There it is.
That Bronco is a 2022 Badlands, and we've had it for approximately a little over 1 year. We've got about 12,500 miles on it. Patty and I have both spent a significant period of time in that vehicle.
Yes, we have.
And we've done some minor modifications, so we're going to talk about the things that we've done, the things we like about the vehicle, and the things we don't like. Stick with us.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is a 2022 Bronco Badlands. We waited over a year and a half for this vehicle after ordering it. We ended up paying MSRP, which we felt pretty lucky at the time.
I really wanted the specific color.
Well, and it wasn't the color that held it up. There were three things that held it up. One was the fact that we wanted the hardtop, we wanted the hitch, and we wanted the Lux package, all of which were part of the whole shortage of components, and that really held the vehicle up. If we would have went with a soft top and without the Lux package, we probably would have gotten it right away. So what we're going to show you, we're going to do a walk around the outside first and talk about it. We're going to show you some of the modifications that we've done, which really aren't that many, and we'll show you the things we like about the vehicle and the things we don't like over the past year. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Hey, pop quiz, what color did you order?
Area 51.
That's right.
Had to have it.
It's a really cool color. It's not really gray, it's not really blue. I'm kind of colorblind, so it's outside of my spectrum just a little bit. And so as far as modifications to the vehicle, the one thing you may or may not notice, and we tried to stay pretty discreet with this, is the fact that I wanted it to have a bigger stance, but I didn't want to go with 35-inch wheels.
Right.
So what I ended up doing was I got these 1552 analog wheels, which they're aluminum, but they look like Steelies. And they're maybe just slightly lighter than a Steely, probably about 30%. But I think it's really, really an attractive wheel. The offset was a little bit different than the standard wheel, so I just took the tires that came with it off it and put it on the 1552s. But you'll notice, it kind of looks like a Sasquatch, but it really isn't a Sasquatch. And the reason for that is, like I said, the offset was a little bit different, so the wheel comes out a little bit further, a little bit wider stance. And so I ended up buying a set of takeoff Sasquatch flares for it and put those on it. So I think that gives it a really, really nice stance.
I really like them, and it's really nice on the road. We've in the past had issues sometimes where we'd like to go bigger with the wheel, and then I feel like it's not as stable on the road.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't do a lift.
Right.
Is,
we do off-road, but we do a lot of highway driving also.
Right. And we've had bad experiences with lifts before, and it seems like unless you spend a fortune on lifts, you're going to end up being unhappy with it, with at least the road manners of it. So we avoided that, and actually we've been very happy with that. Now, something else you'll notice here is the huge rock blocks mud flaps, and they're dirty as heck. And this truck is not set up real well to deflect junk from flying up on the side. And we live on gravel, so that's kind of important. As you can see, there's a huge gap here where you might normally put a mud flap, and that would slop up quite a bit. I didn't change the rock rails because we really haven't wheeled it that much. And the first 6,000 miles of this vehicle, I was driving it to work, and there was a lot of road construction. So I ended up taking long stretches of gravel to get around the road construction. And the one thing I noticed, and you really can't see it here, and I've done a previous video, actually you can see it here, is the flares pitted up really badly. And the other thing about the flares that I was kind of unhappy with is the fact that they faded. Now they don't look faded now because I actually did a video on this where I did a Cerakote restoration of them. It turned out really nice. I'm not sure how well it'll wash up. We'll find out in the spring, really. And like I said, these just beat up terribly. So I'm glad that I actually replaced the stock ones and put those on it, because whenever we go to sell the vehicle, they'll have nice, bright, fresh ones back on it.
Right.
And, but I mean, that is just a good looking truck.
It is really a good looking truck. And I think the wheels added a lot to it. The dark black with the black trim.
The problem I had with the wheels that came with it is they looked just a little bit too much like the wheels that came on our Jeep Wranglers.
Okay.
And I didn't want to have that look again, so that was on me. And another thing you might notice is, as I slip in the snow here, is the license plate holder. This is I think it's better built license plate holder. The stock license plate holder would have gone right in here, and they actually drill a hole in your plastic to mount it. So I didn't care for that. So we got this. It's a nice product. I think it was around $100, and I like that a lot. So again, walking around the vehicle, just it's, the color's great. The color doesn't get too dirty with the gravel road and the mud that we go through. So it's overall a really, really attractive truck. So we talked about what you kind of liked about the truck. What's your number one complaint?
Well, when I started driving
the
vehicle more often, and I took it kind of long distance, I started having issues with the alarm going off, and I couldn't figure out why. Even if the vehicle was sitting, like I went to a state park, it started going off in the parking lot. I stayed at a relative's house, it would go off in the middle of the night. And for some reason, that alarm was connected to
the hood latch.
An issue with the hood.
Yeah,
Correct.
and so we really didn't recognize it right away, because you'd get a brief hood latch notice.
Yeah, it would say hood is ajar.
And then it would go off.
Yes.
And then later on in the middle of the night, the alarm would be going off in the garage or out on the street or whatever. So it took us a little while to figure that out. The dealer actually did fix that. It's a fairly well-known problem, and they replaced the hood latch. I think they replaced the hood latch and the hood latch sensor, I believe. So it has not done that again, but we have gotten one kind of weird side effect with it, which is now anytime a semi goes by, we have a hood flutter like we've got a Wrangler.
Right.
Which kind of stinks. It hasn't flown up. We're due for another service, so we'll mention that to them when it goes back.
I'm curious, I did read online originally when we started having the issue that people also took out some kind of hood stability things that were on the inside, like on each side of the hood. It's possible maybe the dealership read that and took those out also. I'm not sure.
I don't think the dealership ever reads anything. So
Okay.
you can't. When I sent it up there, I wrote a detailed note on this is what I think it is. So it actually had to go take 2 visits because it was a warranty thing. They had to order the hood latch, and then so they had to come back and get it. It was kind of ridiculous in that respect.
If they can make it stop bouncing a little bit, that would be nice. It doesn't bounce a lot. I notice it because you're staring directly at it the entire time.
So one other common complaint with this vehicle is the hardtop and the noise that it makes, and we are no different. Actually, we might be worse. So when we first got the vehicle, I drove it for 6,000 miles. Patty generally adopts vehicles after I've driven them for a while because she doesn't particularly like change, and so that gives me time to set things up and experience it. And I really like new cars, so that's just me. But and I drove this vehicle. We've put some miles in this vehicle.
We have.
I drove this vehicle to Oklahoma City, which is a 9-hour drive, and you drove it up to Appleton, Wisconsin, which is about an 8-hour drive. And we've been all over the place with this. So we are well acquainted with the noise that this hardtop makes, and it's loud.
Well, we've pretty much narrowed it down to the latch on the roof on the passenger side in the front.
Well, see, that's the rattle.
Okay.
So we've got the rattle now that has come up, but there's also the wind noise issue.
Oh, the wind noise
and
in the window.
It gets really loud on the highway, particularly if you're going above 65, which you kind of expect, but the rattle is annoying as well. As long as we're grousing about stuff, we'll talk about this back window.
Yeah, it doesn't do it consistently, but it sometimes does it.
See if we can make it do it. Okay, so it sticks on the way out because the windows drop just a little bit, and then when you push it back, and
They go
it
up.
did it today.
Yep.
Let's try it again.
Sometimes it will go up on the outside of the rubber trim, and you don't realize it until you're going down the road.
And then you're getting a ton of wind noise.
Yeah.
Something I really like about this vehicle, and you have kind of adopted it, is we had this ordered. This came with the vehicle. Currently, the combination pad, I think, is a dealer installed option. You can no longer order it with a package. But I like that a lot because, there's a fair amount of times I just leave the fob in the car, lock the car, and it's good to go. And it's easy to get into, easy to get out of. Another thing I really like is I really like the app.
Oh, I do too.
Because unlike GM and other manufacturers, they don't charge you for the app, and you can do the basic stuff. You can start your vehicle, you can unlock your vehicle, and you can check your vehicle status, which is really nice, particularly when we leave this thing at the airport and we want to start it because it's out in the Timbuktu parking lot.
In the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter with this time around with 2 feet of snow on top of it.
Right.
So it made it really nice to be able to get the snow at least chipped off because it had warmed up a little bit. So we'll take a look at the inside. A couple of more things that we did do as far as accessories for this vehicle is we bought MOLLE pouches that actually bolt to the door. They are sweet. I like these a lot. The zippers are awesome. The zippers are flawless. And the only thing I would change about them is I wish they had a light interior so when you look in them you can see stuff instead of having everything sink into that sea of black. And then also we've got the Husky liners. I've always been a WeatherTech guy, and these liners are better than any WeatherTechs that we've ever had.
For this vehicle, especially.
Yes. They fit better, they collect water, and they're just really good. So looking into the vehicle here, and probably people will get incensed by me using this comparison. This vehicle reminds me a lot of our FJ Cruiser.
Yes.
Very much so in the respect of, one, it's not real easy to see out of.
It has better vision, though.
It has better vision, but with the independent front suspension, it rides so much better than any Wrangler that we ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a vehicle, sans the top noise, you could hop in this vehicle and drive it across the United States and not regret it because I like everything about the driving capabilities of this vehicle.
Agree.
And the one thing that I would highly suggest to everybody is if you can get the Lux package and the adaptive cruise, get it because the adaptive cruise is really sweet on this Bronco. So the gauges, they're just standard Bronco, and you guys have probably seen 100 videos with all that stuff. I really like the mode switch in the middle. The automatic is sweet. One other thing we did, this is a very minor thing, but it's really awesome, is a stupid $12 net from Amazon. And I will put any of the products that are available from Amazon, I will put a link in the description. So you can go to those. We are Amazon affiliates, so we get a little bit of a kickback. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us just do the kind of videos that we do. The other thing that we did add, and I forgot about this, is the IAG lighting for the interior, because the interior is very dark, and it's like $100. The instructions are incredible. It takes you probably about an hour and a half to wire it up, but it is immensely it is an immense improvement over what the deep dark interior this offers you.
We've discussed putting the liner in it. Is that a dealer option,
no,
or is that an aftermarket
the
product?
Hotheads, I think it's Hotheads liners. It took them, actually that's pretty recent that someone's come out with the liners because there's so much contour up here. I think it's really hard to do a headliner. And, that's one of those things. If we decide to keep the vehicle, we'll probably put it in. It's like a $500 thing, but I don't know. I like this vehicle a lot, but after we waited for it for almost 2 years. We've had it for a year. I'm almost kind of ready to move on. So I don't know.
You know me.
There's a new Land Cruiser coming out, and Hummers are coming down in price. So you know how I am.
Yeah.
So let's take a look in the back here. And the back seat is, again, standard Bronco. You guys have probably seen a dozen videos on the back seat and people sitting in it, so we're not going to go over that. There is the Molly panels in the back, which there's not really enough room to be hanging much off those, so I don't find a lot of value in the seat back Molly here. The little nets are, as you can see, I've got my Windex and my paper towel, and the little side nets are not super useful, but they do something.
If you have young children, there are no cup holders in the back seat.
Oh yeah, that is a big thing.
Any longer have young children,
right?
But...
And you can see my dirty spot where I put my dirty 5-gallon bucket. All right, let's go around to the back. And so in the back, so since we have gotten rid of our pickup truck, this is now taken on duties for hauling dogs. So we did buy a mat liner that covers the interior of the back, and it works really well. I will also put a link in the description for that because we like that a lot. As you can see here, what these racks are here, these are part of our business Springtail, and I've been prototyping these for some time now. Actually, these will be available probably in the next 60 to 90 days from filming this, and they're going to be awesome. I'll give you a little preview here. Actually, you can take off these 5 knobs and you can remove the unit pretty much entirely. So if you want to strap on bags, you can do it without having to try and weasel your straps to the back, or you can bolt on stuff. Makes it super easy, and these are far better than any other items, primarily because the ones that are currently made do not allow you to use the mat below.
The Husky liner, yeah.
The Husky liner. Again, once we get those out, which will be, like I said, a couple months maybe, I will put a link so you can buy those as well. And then, as always, everybody should have a first aid kit in the back. And then everybody knows about the little hidden compartment back there, which really I don't know how much. I just keep some recovery equipment in there, a couple of soft ties and a strap, and usually that's about it. So the back is perfect. I mean, I really like the swinging door and the pop-up window, and we have had absolutely no problems with that. And we'll just do a little walk around here yet. So again, overall, this has been a very solid vehicle. I would recommend it to anybody. It's held up very well through the 12,000 miles that we've had it, but as you guys know, that's really not the true test. It would be the 99,000 miles past this. Could it keep up with the reliability of a Toyota? Personally, I don't think so, but time will tell. It's a new vehicle. This was only the second model year out, and I'm sure that maybe, if we're lucky, they've fixed some of the stuff we talked about. If I was going to reorder this again, the one thing I would do is so we don't take the top off a lot, and
we used to.
We used to
when our
with
child
Wranglers,
was younger, and we would go to fireworks and all that.
Fireworks and four-wheel and stuff like
Picnics,
that.
yeah.
But if I was going to reorder it this time, there actually is a company that's come out with a one-piece top.
Okay.
And I would reorder it. I would order it with a soft top, and then I would buy the $6,000 one-piece top for it.
Would that be a heavy item?
Oh, it'd be difficult to get on and off.
Right.
But you would probably do away with 99% of that noise, and the tops that they're making are way better insulated. So it would be a better top if you're okay with having a hard top all the time, and putting up with the pain in the butt if you wanted to take it off, to take the whole thing off.
Right. Well, then you could buy one of those lifts. People have special.
Well, right. That's exactly what
One more accessory.
Exactly what we did. So anyways, that is it for our 12-month, 12,000 mile review, and like a little run around so you can see what modifications we did. You guys have a great day. We'll see you out on the trail. Bye.
See ya. Bye.